Hey, I'm AJ, and this is Power Publishing. All right, hey everybody, Power Publishers is AJ, and I'm actually doing this for the second time because I've been having some audio or some technical difficulties today, but here I am. Let's talk about how to get the most out of the GAMA Trade Show. This is coming up next week, so if you aren't already going, you're going to have to start thinking about this for next year. But a lot of people are going. It is a business show in the industry. Let's talk a little bit about what it is. So, what is GAMA? GAMA, and you can go to the website gamma.org, stands for Game Manufacturers Association. It started off that way, but now it's more of an industry association. So the name is stuck around, but there are retailers in the association, distributors, content creators, and media, manufacturers, all kinds of different people in the industry. This is what the show where a lot of the key players and people in the industry come together to do business and network. There is a fee to be a member of GAMA, and it's an annual fee, and you get some benefits out of this and some different perks, many of which are attached to the trade show itself. And GAMA is the one responsible for the Origins Game Convention. So those are two of the bigger things they do with the trade show and the convention. But there's also perks throughout the year. There's a Facebook group you can go into and get a lot of help, support. You can ask questions or share what you're doing there. It's just really the sort of one of the bigger organizations in the industry to make connections and be a part of if you are a game publisher. Now, if you're going to GAMA, let's talk about how you can maximize your time at the show. And this is going to be different depending on where you are in your stage as a publisher. For example, if you're a new publisher, you might treat it differently than if you're a more established publisher. You've been around several years and have a large product line, product catalog. So let's talk about that. The first thing is to know your why. Why do you want to go to GAMA? What do you want to accomplish? What does success look like at the end of the show when you're on your drive or your flight home and you're thinking about what you accomplished and who you talked to? What does that look like? What is it getting a big licensing deal? Is it talking to retailers? Is it learning all you could from the seminars? There's so much at GAMA, and there's so much for different people in different parts of the industry. So what success looks like for one person is going to be different from another. We're going to obviously talk about it from a publishing standpoint. So I'll tell you my experience when I first started going to GAMA versus how it is now as a little bit more of an established publisher. And first thing I'll say is I didn't go to GAMA for the first several years of being a small publisher. And to be honest, I wouldn't put it super high on the list if you are just starting out of shows you need to go to or what you need to be doing. I would highly recommend focusing more on the consumer-facing shows where you can generate sales and get your products out to consumers and build your brand. That's way more important to me at that stage of being a publisher. Now, if you are a little bit further along in your journey, you want to start making a lot more business connections, have some distributors that you sell through, then it's starting to get a little bit more attractive to go to the GAMA Trade Show because you can do a lot of networking all at one place in a short amount of time. Now, that's not to say there's no value in going before that. And I would say if you are a couple of years into your journey and you are really thinking about it, really wanting to make more connections, what I would highly recommend is going to GAMA to learn. Okay. Get your room, keep it affordable, your meals affordable, take advantage of free meals they have at the show, things like that. Keep your expenses down and go get educated and learn from all the seminars. There's many seminars throughout the day, each day, and you can learn publishing topics, you can learn marketing topics. There's even external professionals like accountants and lawyers that will do some seminars. It's all about kind of what you're looking for at that point in your journey as a publisher. One thing I would highly recommend though is there are retailer seminars, and don't make the mistake of thinking that you cannot go to those. You can absolutely go to those, and you should go to those, and you will learn a lot about how retailers think. And this is a big one. This was one of the most eye-opening things to me when I went to my first GAMA, and I was just soaking up everything. Some of the most impactful things on me were listening to retailers and hearing what they think about certain things, and how they look at games and look at what they're going to bring into their store, and very importantly, actually, how they don't actually all agree. Like even retailers, a lot of the retailers, even though it may seem like sometimes that they all want the same thing, there's actually a lot of that they don't agree upon. And sometimes you have to sift through what's coming from retailers that is sort of something that most of them agree on, or are there some things that, hey, maybe they don't agree on, and maybe certain products work for one and not for another, different things like that. So you can learn a ton just going to GAMA and meeting people and going to the seminars. And I highly recommend that if you haven't been before, to go. And I mean, you're going to get the lay of the land. You're going to learn about where things are, meeting rooms and different things, and how it just works. That's a huge, an important thing for learning the show. If you're thinking about going for your first one and getting a booth and doing presentations and just you could fall into a trap of trying to do too much at GAMA. So I would highly recommend going for your first time without a booth and experiencing it and learning. And then from there, you can determine what you want to do for future shows. If you're further along the line, maybe you've been to GAMA a couple times, this is going to look a little different for you. You're probably going to be wanting to take distributor meetings and meet with your distributors or prospective distributors, tell them about your game lines. You're going to want to potentially have a booth. If you're a smaller publisher, a 10 by 10 will do just fine. The GAMA Trade Show convention floor is not a huge hall where people can't get around to all the booths. The retailers most of them are going to make their way around the show floor and get to most, or if not all, the booths. And you're going to get a chance to talk to retailers, get their feedback about your games if your games are in stores. If they're not, you can talk to retailers about getting your games in stores. And so this is going to be a good approach, I think. I tend to want you to probably have a few games in your catalog by the time you want to get a booth, or at least a game that is doing well and has been successful. I don't know if I can promote going with an unknown game, one game, to have a booth. That is, it's an approach you could take. I would probably argue to be a little bit more established. I think you can get a lot more done with your time if you still only have one game, with marketing more to consumers and audience, and then kind of building up to the part where you do more business to business networking. So that's kind of my approach. I think then one of the things to talk about is presentations. So you can get a presentation to be able to talk to retailers in a room about your products and your business. So you could have upwards of 50 retailers all in one room where you get to tell them about your products and your business. And it's not cheap, but it's pretty good to get that many retailers all in a room at the same time. And this year they've actually kicked off some speed presentations, which are shorter presentations that cost less money that you could take advantage of. And that's actually what we're doing this year. It seemed like a really good value for us and what we're doing. So GAMA's all about what you want to get out of it, but you need to go there with an open mind, be willing to learn. Don't ever fall in the trap thinking you know everything. I would always recommend going to a seminar or two that interests you, and then networking there is huge. Talking to people, meeting people, and a relationship you make at a GAMA may nothing may happen after the show, and then 2 years later, kind of you make a business deal from that relationship that you made. And if nothing else, you're with your peers, and we get to make games and celebrate games together and sell games. I mean, what better industry is there to be in than the board game industry? So, again, if you're new, it's not the top show you need to be going to, but it could be an important one. It's definitely could be a good one if you're looking to learn and get educated. As you progress in your journey, then it starts to become more important, and particularly when you have a larger catalog, 5, 10 plus games, it's really going to be important that you're at GAMA, because those B2B transactions, distribution sales, retailer sales, that starts to be a much bigger portion of your income and revenue for your company than it was maybe when you started off crowdfunding, your first game. So keep all those things in mind. Really think about what you want to get out of it, and then take the actions at the show that will let you feel like you accomplished what you wanted to get out of the show at the end. And that's all I got for maximizing your time at GAMA. If you like this content and you want more, definitely check out our publishing program. I'm going to go into a lot more on many other topics, and I'm looking forward to sharing it with everyone. All right, if you're going to GAMA, have a great show. Look for me at the Van Ryder Games booth, or just walking around, and feel free to say hi. I'd love to talk to you about power publishing or gaming in general. And if not, hopefully you'll join the program and we can chat more in the power publishing Discord. All right, take care, guys, and have a good one.